To order, we thank each one of you for being here this morning. We appreciate your presence. If you would, please stand to your feet. We'll have our invocations, and we'll ask Commissioner Kuykendall to lead us in our prayer. Kind Heavenly Father, we thank you today for all the many blessings that you've granted to us as undeserving creatures as we are. We recognize that you're sovereign in all things and works all things after the counsel of your divine purpose and will. And we bow in humble submission to that fact this day and acknowledge you in this meeting. We thank you for each one that is here, these men that sit around this table. We thank you for their conscientious efforts in all that we do. We thank you for the many varied communities in which we reside and the many faithful servants that serve in many varied capacities wherever they may be. Father, bless our land and country. Bless the leaders in a way that only you can. Help us to look unto thee, the author and the finisher of our faith. Constrain the wicked in their attempts to overthrow those things that are good. Lead, guide, and direct us. Accept our thanks. Bless us this day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated, please. Again, we welcome you to this meeting. We will expedite it as quickly as possible. First item of business, approve our minutes as used proceeding in written format. Is there any change that needs to be made? If not, I'll solicit the motion that we accept them as you receive.
So moved.
Your second. Second. Motion second. Any discussion? Minutes favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you. Motion carries. Let the record so state. Under new business, road department engineering, maintenance update, Mr. Luther.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Broyles is on vacation this week. He asked me to just provide a maintenance update. Currently says that there is still one road remaining in the district, one reclamation project, and they hope to have that reclaimed by the end of the week. And also, just last week, they started demolition work down at Buck's Pocket on the creek crossing that we're going to do the repair on. And they hope to have that pipe in and backfilled this week. I was down there yesterday and met Tommy to take a look at a few things. And they've had most of it demoed. They've still got some of the concrete to remove before they can start fixing the bedding for the pipe. So I'm going to probably try to run them down there later on this afternoon, check in, kind of see what kind of progress they're making. But hopefully they'll have most of the pipe in and backfilled by the end of this week. So hopefully the following week we can start hopefully on the concrete work. They've got to set the forms and the steel and do that. And then it says also there probably won't be much, they won't be hauling a whole lot of chert this week because all the trucks are going to be hauling dense grade backfill to Buck's Pocket. So there won't be much, if any, hauling out in the district from the Fort Payne yard. So other than that, that's all he gave me. If anybody has any questions, any of that.
Thank you, Mr. Luther. Continue on with the vacation.
Next, I have received a petition from all the adjoining landowners of County Road 862. This is in District 3. It's at the top of Lookout Mountain off of 22, just up above Collinsville. This is a dead-end road. All the property owners have signed a petition to close the road. I just wanted to make you aware of that and see if the commission wanted me to proceed with the process of doing the vacation.
Thank you, Mr. Luther. Mr. Kuykendall, I believe this is your area.
The vacation of this road is in order. I ask you to proceed with the process.
Here, you put that in form of
Yes,
motion.
I will.
You hear Mr. Kuykendall's motion. Is there a second to that? Motion second. Any discussion? Minutes favored, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you. Motion carried. Continue with County Road 9.
County Road 9, this is in District 2. Received a petition from a single landowner that owns all the property around a small portion of County Road 9 where it intersects with County Road 58. This road makes a Y at this intersection, and the original road has always been to the left side of the fork and goes on across 58. The small fork to the right according to her, years and years ago, her father just started cutting across the field to get to their house so he wouldn't have to go up and make kind of a turn back left. And so it just eventually became a road and got worked into our normal maintenance. She would like to be able to cut this road in to incorporate it into the field. One side is currently being farmed, the other side, inside the Y, is just a grassed area of no real use to her or anybody else. So she'd like to be able to close that leg off and incorporate that all into the field. This is an old family property that's been divided amongst the heirs. Again, she owns both sides of this. So again, just ask if the commission would like for me to proceed with this process as well.
Thank you, Mr. Luther. Mr. Westbrook, I believe this is your area.
I make a motion to proceed with the vacation process.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. Do your second. Motion second. Any discussion? Any in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you. The distributor bid award under D.
As we've discussed previously, Tommy and I had went to Kentucky several weeks ago to look at an asphalt distributor that a county up there currently owns and is looking to sell. They have an individual from Alex City. He's a used salesman or used equipment salesman that is working with them and had got in contact with him. Same man that we went through and got these rock spreaders for the dump trucks. And of course, we went and looked at the vehicle, put a bid package together as we normally have to do, sent that out, opened those yesterday. We did receive one bid from Mr. Robert Ingram. The selling price for the truck and the distributor is $49,995. He has a transportation fee of $1,100 for a total bid price of $51,095. Due to the length of travel, that truck is not really set up to drive that far on the interstate. Of course, it's not going to go very fast. And, so he's going to have it delivered. He'll have it delivered by tractor trailer, I'm sure. I think he said within 10 days after the award, once he's given notice, then should be able to have the truck and everything here within 10 days. This is relatively close to what he had told us he thought the price would be, and I talked to Tommy about it yesterday. He was good with this, so it would be my recommendation that we award this bid to Mr. Robert Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. Luther. Any questions concerning the recommendation of Mr. Luther? Ladies and gentlemen, what will be the disposition concerning this project?
Make a motion to approve.
Your second?
Second.
Motion second. In discussion? As many in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you. Other items on the Bucks Pocket project?
Yes, in regards to Bucks Pocket, this was a state-funded project where we had a contractor come in and replace a lot of guardrail, which was done several months ago. And of course, we are making repairs to the creek crossing. Of course, the pipe had deteriorated and collapsed. There was a big void under it, and then eventually the concrete started collapsing due to the previous flooding. So what we plan to do, of course, is we were going to do all the work ourselves, as we're still doing right now. But Tommy had met with a couple of guys from Lambert Incorporated, which is the company that owns Southern Concrete, which is who we have our concrete bid with, so we'd be buying the concrete from them. And they proposed for them to do the finishing for us. As of course, we're not set up as concrete finishers. We don't have any guys that do that kind of work. And this is a pretty intense project with these big slopes on each side. And it's going to take some work to get this done. So what Lambert has proposed, they provided us a quote to just provide the labor to do the finishing. We'll provide all the materials as normal. We would just pay them for their labor to do the finishing for us. And they provided a quote for $8,500 to do the finishing on this concrete, which will be it's several days worth of work to pour. You have to pour it in sections. And again, like I said, we're not really set up to do that. And Tommy is definitely in favor of allow them to do this work. So it would be my recommendation that we allow Lambert Incorporated to provide the labor for the finishing of the concrete on this project at a cost of $8,500.
Might make mention also that this is 100% reimbursable.
Yes, sir.
You hear the recommendation, John?
We don't have to be a number that size, does it? I mean, we don't have to be that. Yeah.
No, not for just the labor.
Mr. Westbrook, I believe this is your area.
I make a motion, we will proceed with the concrete finishing.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. Is there a second? Second. Motion second, any more discussion? In its favor, let me know by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed to it, please make your objection tonight. Let the record so state it now. Go ahead with your training.
Actually, I won't have anything on training. This was for the ACCA convention, but looks like myself or Trey will not be able to attend this year, so I won't have anything on the training. So that's all that I have.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Lee. Ms. Sharp, equipment purchase.
As you know, we're going to be selling our Mack trucks this fall instead of in the spring. Tom wants to go ahead and keep that spring schedule going. So we've already ordered Kenworths to replace the ones we're going to sell this fall. And then it takes 6 months to order, so he wants to go ahead and order the new Kenworths for the March schedule, which is about $2.5 million on that, and we'll be through the process of getting financing on that as we move forward like we're going to do. So he wants to go ahead and order the ones for March.
And we're gonna sell them, Max and Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was you not here that meeting?
The mileage and the time.
Yeah, I know.
A lot better.
Now, is this where
But we got some trucks that's already ordered.
Yeah, we got the trucks ordered to replace the ones that we're going to sell this fall.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
So they-
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I missed that.
the Kenworths that we're ordering now, will those be the ones that get sold in the spring?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
we're planning that far ahead.
Right, yeah.
This
It
goes
takes-
back on the spring
Right.
schedule.
That-
It gets back on.
It's a little confusing. It takes that long to get it through the process, but
I
yeah.
thought that's what that was.
Let me say something about this truck operation that we do. I was here when we started this a lot of years ago, and it has made us money. It has been, we have literally no maintenance. And over the years, we always come out on top, and it's been one of the best moves we've ever made. And there's always a few changes in it, but it's been really a good program. And we would pilot project for it really back there, and every county in the state followed our lead on it. And they would tell you what a good project it
And
is.
what the auction company told us is that the Kenworths are really making a better sale than the Max. And so one of the things that the auction company told us, they'll guarantee us our money, what we paid for those trucks if we sell them this fall. But if we wait till spring on those, then there's about a 10%, possibility of 10% reduction in that. So,
That's on the Max.
right, so that's the reason that we're selling those this fall and then getting on the cycle with the Kenworths after that.
Any question about that? All right, do I hear a motion we proceed with Mr. Sharp's recommendation?
So,
Your second?
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Minutes favor, let me know by saying aye. Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you, gentlemen. Damage claim, Mr. Sharp.
We have a damage claim from Danielle Bickerstaff, who claims that the windshield of her vehicle was damaged by one of our trucks on Highway 11. It says it's a county vehicle, so I would say that we send this to our insurance company for final disposition.
Your motion to forward to insurance carrier.
So moved.
Your second.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? As many as favor, let me know by saying aye. Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you. Revenue Commission, personnel, Ms. Wilks. Good morning, sir.
Morning. Just had a real quick thing to kind of address with you guys. Barbara Sanders is going to be retiring. I think that's going to be effective as of the end of September. However, due to her leave time and sick time, she's still got several hours of stuff that she's built in. Friday's going to be her last day. And this will give us a chance to get somebody, get the position posted, get somebody hired over the next few weeks and get them in, start training. I'd hate to throw somebody in October 1st and just kind of let them do that, because it's our busiest time. And so I need time to get somebody trained, things like that. So requesting permission to go ahead and be able to post that position to replace Barbara Sanders. It's a property clerk position that will be posted.
You hear Mr. Wilkes' recommendation. Any questions concerning that? If not, then do you hear a motion we honor his request?
So moved.
Your second.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Any in favor, let me know by saying aye. Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you.
Thank you.
Road judge's software contract, we've stricken that from the agenda. The fourth item is 5th election district resolution. Mr. Sharp.
Well, this is going to be more or less a public hearing for this. If there's anybody that has anything they want to say about it, I know Mr. Cagle's here. But as we talked about in the last meeting, we're talking about a very small area that was annexed into the town of Fife, as I understand it, around 2000. We did the redistricting in 2003. This part was left out of District 4. The intent of the commission was that all of the town limits of Fife be in District 4. And so this has been brought to our attention. And so if there's no opposition to that, or if anybody wants to speak on it, in the talk room, you may want to ask if anybody wants to talk on it. But that's basically what we're doing right here.
I do want to thank you, Mr. Sharp, for that explanation. Mayor Paul Cagle is here. Mayor Cagle, would you like to speak to the item, or do you have any questions about it, or do you want us to proceed with it?
Just thank you for considering it and being expedient about doing it. Thank you.
Okay. I believe this affects Mr. Westbrook and Mr. Jackson. So you gentlemen want to speak to the item?
Well, this situation, like Matt said, come to our attention, and the 4th District takes in the city limits of Fife, and it just got overlooked in the last process. And I appreciate Mayor Cagle and his enthusiasm to get things back on track, and I'm good.
I'm good with it. This is something that took place before my time in the commission, and if you hadn't brought it to my attention, I probably wouldn't have known where that line was in that specific area. So it seemed like everybody's on board with that, and that's what the intent was originally. So we're good with that.
It affects very few people, and I'm told that all of them are agreeable to that.
That's correct. It will make it possible for them to be able to vote in the same location for all elections. Presently, they are having split their vote in that if it's a town election, they vote in the town. If it's a county, state, or federal election, they're having to go to McEstus to vote. So we would like to consolidate that and bring it all into the town.
Thank you, Mayor Cagle. We appreciate it. Any other questions about it? If not, do I hear a motion that we honor Mr. Sharp's request in this regard?
So moved.
Your second. Motion second in discussion. Any in favor, let me know by saying aye. Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you, and thank you, Mayor Cagle. We appreciate it.
And I have talked to the Board of Registrars, and it's my understanding that as long as this goes into effect by the end of the month, which is the last day to register to vote for the special election, then those individuals will be able to vote at 5. I'll make sure to talk to them, the Board of Registrars, to make sure they get this resolution and that cards are sent out to those folks. I think it's maybe a dozen people. It may not be that many, but they'll should be able to vote there, but they should be getting a card.
Good.
But we'll make sure that happens. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Council on the Aging Personnel, Mr. Shaw.
Ms. Brewer has requested to remove Rita Rao from she's on the personnel staffing temporary service, and moving her to the commission's payroll as a part-time employee. And so I would make that recommendation also to the commission.
Any questions concerning the recommendation? If not, do I hear a motion on Mr. Sharp's request? Your second.
Second.
Motion second in discussion. Any in favor, let me know by saying aye. Anyone opposed, state your objection. Thank you. Drug Department dedication, Mr. Westbrook.
A few months ago, leadership DeKalb representatives had come to me, and asked for some assistance. Leadership DeKalb is a program that develops leaders throughout the county and tries to get them headed in the right direction and teach them some of the ins and outs of being in those leadership positions. Each year, this group takes on a community project. This year, they took on beautification of Bucks Pocket, which was on the edge of being closed or shut down. And they redone the boardwalks and some of the parking areas and the trails up on the Point Rock area. And they are having a dedication ribbon cutting, and they wanted to invite anyone who was interested in coming out. The dates for this is Saturday, July the 29th, and it will begin at 10 a.m. On the Point Rock area. So if you can make that, they would be glad to have you out there. And they've done some pretty good work, and it was just a very convenient coincidence that as they are planning to do their ribbon dedication for the beautification of the top of the pocket, that our road department and the engineering crew has begun to work on the bridge demolition and reconstruction at the bottom. So the Bucks Pocket Park is coming together very nicely, and if you haven't been down there, I'd say give it a few weeks before you go to the bottom, but be anxious to get to the top and take a look at what they've done up there. It is something to see. So Saturday, July the 29th at 10 a.m., ribbon cutting for Bucks Pocket, Point Rock.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. That's this next Saturday at Bucks Pocket, Point Rock. We appreciate leadership. Calvin has always been involved in that program and help get it started, and we're thankful for the work that they do. Next item is the DeKalb County Economic Development Board appointment. I've been notified by the authority that, of course, Mr. Bobby McCurdy, sad to say, passed away, and he's been a member of that for many years. And the authority have asked me to recommend to you from them Mr. Chris Bryant of Farmers Telecommunications Co-op to fill his place for the remainder of the term, which ends September 30th, 2019. And at the same time, the appointment of James Coker, who is also a member, will expire September the 30th, 2017. Both Mr. Bryant and Mr. Coker have told us that they're willing to serve and continue to serve on these boards, and the DeKalb County Economic Development Authority has asked me to concur with their wishes and present that to you. Gentlemen, I would solicit a motion that we honor the request of the Economic Development Authority concerning the appointment of Mr. Bryant and Mr. Coker. Is there any question about that? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Hear a second?
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? As many as favor, have been known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Let the record so state it is unanimous. Gentlemen, that concludes our meeting agenda for today. Thank you all for being here. Do I hear a motion we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Being that objection, so ordered.